One of the things that has really stuck out to me recently is the fact that these atheists that I'm dealing with on the internet, about 90% of them always have these posters of Final Fantasy or Mario Kart or Super Mario Brothers in their background of their videos.
Hello, motherfucker.
Okay, what the actual fuck, dude? Hold on. So, how do I put this? In short, I saw a video from Sir Sic yesterday, per the day of recording this video myself, and it was about this very same point. For those of you who don't know, that this guy is a Christian YouTuber named Matt Powell, which is perfectly fine, he does his thing, but I myself am an atheist and don't believe in that stuff. Fine and dandy, there will be debate, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. However, usually I try not to do that. I try not to talk about these kind of things because it's not really my point. I don't want to do this on my channel, but once in a while, of course, like this video, there is something so stupid on the internet that I don't understand. Like, come on. So, yeah, I'm responding to this shit, and I want to know what anyone that does watch this video thinks. If you're atheist, if you're Christian, tell me, I don't care. But I want to know what you guys think, because this is stupid. So, firstly, I gotta ask the question, what does that have to do with anything? Okay? Isn't the point of a debate to be talking about things that are, you know, related to said debate? In the case of you, Matt Powell, it being, you know, is there a God? Is there a creator? What does the whole thing that you just showed about the posters in the background have to do with any of that? Do you know how stupid that sounds? Come on, dude. I'm dumbfounded in doing this, like, no script, offhand, because I don't know. I don't get it. Look, for real, what does that have to do with anything? How is it related? Huh? Do you really lack such an understanding for basic commentary and debating people that at this point, when you realize everyone is able to, like, I guess, refute whatever you say about the reality that you believe in, God being real, that you have to fight against something that doesn't even relate? What? Where are you getting this from? Like, even if it's true, that's pure coincidence. That doesn't mean anything. Coincidence. I mean, look right now. This video right here, I'm not showing posters or my bedroom because I don't think it's important. Plus, I'm making my video. I'm not making someone else's video. I'm making my video. I'm going to make it the way I want to make it. So, again, where is this point coming from? What does this have to do with any sort of debate? I don't get it.
This to me is kind of like a dead giveaway, because these people, they're obviously living in a fantasy land by believing that the world popped into existence uncaused with no God. I mean, that in and of itself requires belief in magic.
Okay, your point? You realize that firstly, to us, the whole, like, everything that God can do is magic, right? You're saying that what we believe is magic, superstition, but that's literally to us the same stuff that we think of you. Again, like, do you not realize how someone like me can draw the line and see it? Like, dude, I'm no expert in any of this, and I can see how stupid what you're saying is. Magic. That's what God is, okay? To us atheists, that's what he is. Even if he's real, to us, he's magic. And we don't see the evidence for him. You see whatever supposed evidence there is. Fine. You try to argue why That means he's there, he's real, etc. We don't see it. Okay? Also, I'm sure this has already been talked about so much that I don't even need to say it. And I'm no expert on any of this. I'm some nerd who plays video games. Which I guess is kind of proving your point, but we'll get more into that later. But again, I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not someone who knows about space. That's not my expertise. I currently push carts at a grocery store, come home, and play my video games. But even I know that it's not as simple as the Big Bang just sort of happened, that everything just popped into existence. That is not how it worked. There's more to it than that. Okay? Again, I'm no expert on it, but I think it's like, what? Certain amount of energy just exploded, and then here we are with the universe as it, like, the energy spread out across the universe. Again, there are more people that are like Vice Rhino or Paulogia or whoever that can more properly talk about this stuff, but like even an idiot like me can figure out the basics of what the Big Bang actually is. And I'm no scientist. Why is this so hard for you, Matt? Come on. Why is this so hard?
Believe in superstition, if you will. But the fact is that this crowd has really never grown out of Toon Network. They haven't grown out of Nickelodeon.
I think this already shows that you don't exactly know what you're talking about, because you can't even get the name of one of the things you're claiming. One of the TV broadcasting channels, whatever it's actually called. Again, I'm no professional on any of this. I'm a nerd who enjoys this crap. You can't even get it right. It's not Toon Network. It's Cartoon Network with an offshoot called Boomerang, which I don't know if Boomerang even exists anymore. I could be completely wrong on that. But point is, you can't even get the name of it right. So that already shows you didn't do as much research as you think. Also, actually, I think I'll save that for later. I'll save that one for later.
Most of them on the internet that do response videos to me or other creation apologists, they have literal fantasy stuff hanging up in their background. They've got Marvel Comics hanging everywhere.
Matt, can I ask you a question? Do you know what people do with their houses? Do you know what they do? Pretty sure you do, because even you should know that this is a stupid thing to say. It's called decorating your house with what you like. People do that with pictures of their family, of their pets, of, I don't know, the guy who likes guns and beer, the stereotypical redneck. He might decorate his house with, like, maybe a picture of the flag in front of the country's flag, because I live in the U.S. But the redneck might put a picture of the U.S. flag in front of, like, what he thinks is some sexy lady in a bikini or something. You, as a Christian, I would imagine you have most likely religious Christian things hanging in your house. Maybe a picture of Jesus Christ and God working together. You know, the one where it's like, they're, what is it, like, I forget what is this. It's like God reaching out to, I guess, the first human or something, Adam, or whatever. You probably know what picture I'm talking about. I forget what it looks like, and I don't care enough to put the time in to try and put a picture in the video of the painting I'm talking about, because we all know the one I'm thinking of, most likely. But the point is, you probably have a cross or other various religious things hanging up in your house, okay? Again, that's called decorating your house and showing off what you like. Everyone does it. So when you're saying that we look silly and trying to make an argument out of the fact that these people, oh, they all have Marvel comics and Final Fantasy posters and whatnot, you do the same exact crap with your religion, right? Which again is perfectly fine. But what does that have to do with the argument of God? What does that have to do with anything? Even if I posit and give you God's existence being real, even if that were the case, and I'm saying it from the perspective, again, of I don't personally believe he could be, but until I see personal, real evidence, I'm not going to believe. But even if I give you God is real, what does this have to do with anything? Really? People decorate their houses, and you're saying because these people decorated their houses in a way I think is weird or silly or childish means that you're right. Which doesn't... That's not even an argument against the opposition. That's just... Well, to put it in words that I think Sir Sic would use, that is the big silly. That it's silly, it's stupid, and it's childish. Because that's like a 5-year-old going, well, I don't like... What's a good example? That would be like 2 5-year-old little kids going, what? You have a little boy and a little girl, let's just say for example. The little boy says, ponies are stupid, and the little girl likes the ponies or whatever. But your argument is basically as one of them saying, well, you like this, so you're stupid. Okay? You're stupid because you like this. Which doesn't add to the argument that you're trying to make. Because again, you're trying to argue for the existence of God against people like me who are atheists. We don't believe in God. But it's really disingenuous when you use that as an argument against the people you're trying to argue. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Okay? Again, you decorate your house according to what you like. So none of us ever comment on that. If there is an atheist out there that comments, oh, look at this Christian YouTuber or Muslim YouTuber. How dare they decorate their house with things that represent their religious belief? If I was to see that, I would probably think, yeah, you're kind of being an asshole for thinking that. But till I see that, I don't know what to say. Because it's like, that's what you're doing. You're giving people BS for promoting what they like. Why? You do the same exact thing, Matt. Why are you doing one of the most hypocritical things in basic design or human decency? I don't even know what to say at this point. This is stupid.
They never grew out of Super Nintendo. I mean, this is the crowd that we're dealing with.
Knowing Matt Powell and having seen one of Matt Powell's sermons and then seeing him personally off to the side, it's not just an online, duplicitous character thing. It is that is him.
I figured it would be appropriate to really point this out because...
You thought you were going to point it out because you felt that it actually, again, was related to the whole debate. Which, no, it's not. But more importantly, you did it because you wanted to feel good about yourself. You wanted to find something that you felt was, silly. Aren't you being silly? Aren't you being silly, Matt? This is stupid. Regardless, the fact that you featured that clip of whatever YouTuber that was and didn't even bother to, like, refute her in your own video about this is kind of funny. I mean, Sir Sic already pointed this out, but Matt, you didn't try to turn around and debate that argument against you. Like, you're not going to defend yourself against her? Do you know yourself that well or something? Like, she basically called you, how do I say this without offending you and making you do the cry? She basically called you a cynical asshole who does it for the sake of, I guess, being a cynical asshole. She basically called you out on your shit, dude. Where's the response to that? Way to defend yourself. Ugh. No, but seriously, what? I know I'm going to play the next clip here in a second of what your reason is, but why did you feel the need to point this out? What's the real reason? Because I know the reason you're about to say in this video, because I've watched it once or twice, thanks to Sir Sic, and, you know, going back and editing and watching it during the edit. I know what the reason you say is, but I don't think that's the real reason. Because let's be honest, the reason you give is a stupid reason. I know it, you know it. What's the real reason why you're wanting to do this? Why are you really pointing this out, Matt?
This is the same crowd that's coming after your children right now. The reason that they create cartoons and try to tell you why the Bible's wrong is because they want to infiltrate the minds of the youth. They want to change their mind. They want to get them thinking that there is no God. Misery loves company.
I'm sorry. Did you just seriously try to make an argument about why we create cartoon characters and fictional personalities on the internet? Now, come on. Look, Matt, Mr. Powell, we create these alternate personalities, these animated cartoons or whatever, not because we want to get in the minds of children. What do I even say to that? Oh, wait, I kind of actually already have an idea. You know what my channel is? Do you know what my thing is? My alternate identity, according to my channel, is Kinessmata Acadian. Don't worry about the pronunciation. Don't know how they came up with the name. Unrelated. Point is, it's a fictional name. I made it up. Why? Because I can. But that's also because it's related to something I made up as, like, a thing I created. God, this is so fucking stupid. So, quick little rant on it, in short, to explain. I have a Doom Eternal fan character, and Doom Eternal is the game that I'm using as the footage you're watching. And Kinessmata Acadian is supposed to be some space angel thing that was created as a fan character for the game. It's irrelevant at this point, but yeah, that's what my YouTube name is, Kinessmata Acadian. It's because of that. But do you know one other reason people do these fictional characters? Perfect example, Viced Rhino, another person that uses an animated character or a fictional name on the internet. Oh no, it's because the internet is a big, mean, scary place and there are all kinds of people who want to do bad things. You know what being anonymous is? Do you know what anonymous is? It's exactly because of that. What I mean by that is, the reason we have these names is to be anonymous. We don't want people to find out, I don't know, speaking hypothetically, we don't want someone to come around our corner and murder the shit out of us because they didn't like something we said on the internet. And one way to protect ourselves from that is to kind of hide behind alter egos on the internet. Because anonymity. It's the same reason you probably shouldn't be using the same password for every freaking website. Why you should have different usernames. Maybe at least 2 emails for different things. A personal email and a more business-related email. It's the same exact reasoning. Because of internet security. Now, usually the fictional name has something to do with, you know, what our whole shtick is. And by that I mean Vice Rhino. His whole shtick is that he's a rhino. He's a humanoid talking rhino man or whatever. There's another YouTuber whose shtick is that he's like a squid man or something from under the sea, and he's British. I don't know. That guy's name? Guess what his name is? Omegan. Right? He's still Omegan? Something like that. Me. I am... On YouTube, I am my fictional character. I am Kinessmata Acadian. I am the stupid space angel from a video game. I'm a fucking fan character. Because, again, on YouTube, that's my shtick. What's your shtick? You're Matt Powell. Christian, what, apologist? I don't know. I don't care because it's not my job to know. I don't even talk about this crap. My shtick is I am the stupid space angel that does awesome video game clips and whatnot. And I talk all high and mighty and whatever the hell. That's what I do. Again, I am playing a character when I talk as her. When I am using this channel for most of the stuff. This video, I'm not being my character. I am being the real me, to say. But when I'm my character because I'm telling a story one way or another with my character. Whether you want to think whatever I'm saying about that makes sense or not, that's up to you. But again, at the end of the day, that's the point of it. Anonymity, because you're trying to tell something. Vice Rhino's story, he is a rhino man that, you know, is an atheist, and he's a super smart genius boy and whatnot, and he has to do all the stuff that entitles him to do. Apologia. He's a former Christian that takes a look at the claims of Christians and whatnot. Me, I'm a stupid little space angel. I go around and I fly and I kill demons and blah blah blah. You see what, again, the game clip? That's what I do. Why is it so hard to understand anonymity and having a shtick? Also, getting in the minds of children? That's literally what Christians do. Okay, granted, not all of them. I will give them the benefit of a doubt on that. But in the past, I'm pretty sure Christians and other religions as well have used children for nefarious needs to try and promote an agenda. So, even if your point is to say that we're trying to get in the minds of children, Mr. Matt Powell, guess what? Call the irony police, call the hypocrisy police, whatever you want to call them. Call them, assholes. Call them! And alert them to your own bullshit. Can you do that for me? Can you dial 111 for I'm an idiot? Oh. Who am I kidding? No, you can't. Because you can't see the very obvious projection of what you're doing. And then, even then, just ignoring that you think we're trying to get into the heads of kids. No, we're not. The people who actually do this, like Vice Rhino, Apologia, Sir Sic, Armored Skeptic. Is he even Armored Skeptic anymore? I forget. what those YouTubers do is try to give support of the opposing side atheism. They try to basically give an argument against the argument that's being made. Because that's how debate works. Okay? They're debating you as an adult. They're not trying to get to your kids, if you have any. They're not trying to convert my kids to atheism. I don't even have kids, but still. It's a debate. They're talking to you. They don't want to talk to whatever kids you might have. They want to talk to you, because that is the point of what they're doing.
They're making it their purpose to tell everybody that there is no purpose. And if you have children that have been influenced by these guys, just point out to your kids that these are a bunch of adults that have never grown out of childhood. Why else would they have Dragon Ball Z in the background? Or Star Fox? I mean, it just...
Do I need to repeat my point that I said before about having stuff representing what you like hanging up in your house or bedroom? Do I need to repeat that point? Also, just because you mentioned it, I do kind of like Dragon Ball Z a little. You know what Dragon Ball Z has? It has people fighting. It has people dying, planets blowing up, ghosts, all kinds of spooky stuff, murder, occasional thoughts of mass genocide against the human race by some evil, psychotic, robot science android experiment thing. Guess what his name is? Cell! Now, of course, that's science stuff, but the point still stands. He's evil. You know what Frieza is? He's an evil space alien warlord thing that wants to just rule everything because lol I can. There are moments where you actually see the characters in Dragon Ball Z bleed. And you see characters just get absolutely obliterated. Gee, kind of like I'm doing to these demons right now in this video. Oh, wouldn't you know? I just shotgunned a gargoyle in the face and sent his body flying. I just lit a guy on fire. That's the kind of stuff you see in half of the anime in the world. If it's not adult-oriented by suggestive activities, then the anime usually involves lots of blood, lots of murder, lots of death and destruction, because that's what TV is. It lets us live these fictional worlds. You know what else? Probably, although in a kid-friendly way. I can't even talk anymore. This is stupid. You know what else probably does the same thing in a kid-friendly way without all the blood and stuff? Bible. Oh, wait. There's blood and stuff featured in the Bible. Obviously not like pictures or anything, but it's there. It's there. There is a dude who, I forget what the story is, because I don't care enough to look into it. That's, again, not what I do on YouTube. I do video games. But I know there's a story where some dude... What was it? Let me think about that real quick. Let's see here. Oh, yeah! Had something to do with getting involved with the sacrificing of Jesus and sold Jesus out and then, felt really bad or something and decided to take money and get himself killed or whatever. I know I'm obviously butchering it, but that's, again, because I don't care enough. But the point is, there's a story where a dude, dies and he gets disemboweled or something. And he felt really bad and he died in a field or whatever. There's blood in the Bible too. The Bible ain't so innocent.
To me, it's a dead giveaway. We're dealing with a crowd of people that are literally stuck in their childhood, and they've never grown out of it. But of course, this is the first crowd to tell us that the Bible's wrong. This is the first crowd to come to tell us that dinosaurs farted themselves to death, or that squids and octopi rode on a comet from outer space into our Earth and crash landed to evolve and to continue their evolution on Earth.
Citation fucking needed. Okay. I know you featured, like, the headline or whatever in the video, but citation fucking needed. More importantly, you're leaving out the fact that there's context to these claims, I guess you want to call them. Yeah, there's context to it. In other words, you can't just say, we think dinosaurs farted themselves to death. Because obviously, even you know, it's not as simple as just thinking dinosaurs farted themselves to death. That squids came from space. There's more to it. Why didn't you feature more of the articles about these things before spouting your nonsense? Why didn't you, say more about, well, honestly, whatever you're about to talk about next? I think, like, what is it going to be, like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's something about monkeys or something floating over to the US or across the waters or whatever, across the ocean on seaweed or something, and then you're going to mock someone about, oh, no, and that person gives context to what is being meant. Because, again, context matters. We don't just say, the monkeys came on to the USA on a raft. No. Again, this is going to be in the next clip, so I'm probably going to skip over it instead of responding. I'll decide that in the next 10 seconds. But context. Every story has it. We don't just blindly believe that monkeys, whatever. We don't believe that octopus or octopi, whatever. We don't just believe in it as it sounds. More to it.
Of course, the crowd that tells us that the Bible is incorrect and that Jesus was just a man and not God is the very crowd that believes that monkeys made a sea voyage from Africa to South America on rafts. That they literally surfed from Africa to South America. One guy responded to me recently. He goes, well, that sounds crazy. Let's clarify. It wasn't a surfboard. It was a log or some seaweed.
So we have seen evidence, plenty of evidence, for animals drifting on logs, drifting on seaweed, drifting on whatever through the ocean.
I mean, that's pretty desperate when you're saying that monkeys actually rafted on seaweed across the ocean. I mean, give me a break. It just, to me, I don't even know what to say. Internet atheists and non-believers, I tried, okay? I tried my best. I can honestly say that I've tried my best.
So, firstly, I want to mention that during the editing of this video, my editing app actually straight up crashed, and I have to re-record everything from this point in the video on. So please, if nothing else, give me a like for the dedication to the video. But, yeah, with that being said, yeah, I had to re-record everything from here on, so, But, guess what, Mr. Powell? We all try. We all try, okay? I've tried to explain to you all of this. You didn't try. You know how I know you didn't try? It's because this video, 1, probably wouldn't have existed, or 2, would have gone a whole lot different. Sorry, hiccups. And yes, that's staying in. You didn't try, and I know because of how you've presented the people you're talking about in this video. There is no context behind any of this. Okay? There is no context. Because that is the most important thing with this argument that you're trying to make. There is context behind how the people you're talking about act, how they feel, what they're talking about. The other 2 YouTubers or so, or 3 or whoever, or however many, they have other things they do. Okay? They try their best day in and day out, so do you. The only difference is they're not you. They disagree with you. They do something that you don't like. Do you not understand that?
To help you understand the world around you. If you don't want to understand the world around you, if you want to continue living in Toon Network land or Nickelodeon land, like your posters have demonstrated, I can't help you. You have to grow out of childhood into adulthood. The Bible says that when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Bible says you put away childish things, right? That's what you just said. Guess what? Atheists think the belief in God, in what we think is a magic man who isn't real, is childish. So you are literally giving us crap. You are literally giving us trouble for doing literally what you are doing. You are projecting your own hatred of the disbelief of God's existence. You are putting that on other people. That is not fair. Do you not understand that? We don't believe in God, you do. Saying that we're wrong because of something like that is stupid. I swear I should have written a script for this. You get the point. Also, more importantly, we're all kids. Do you know how I know? Everyone has a part of them that is a child. That is how we stay with our, what do I call it? Innocence. Because adults sometimes get all giddy and act so childish over things too. I would know. I do it myself all the time, and I'm 23 years old. I get giddy, I get happy, I get excited about simple things that don't even matter. If something like that happens for you, don't you get excited? If something you want to see happens, if you want to see it and it happens, don't you get excited? Let's say hypothetically you had kids, and you wanted your kid to marry a nice Christian man or woman or whatever. Surely that's what you would want, right? You would want your hypothetical kids to marry someone that you think would be perfect for them, as every parent would. Wouldn't you be giddy and excited over your kids then marrying said religiously fellow believing person? Wouldn't you be happy that your kid now is married to another religious person? I'm pretty sure you would. You know what that childish giddiness is? You know what that happiness is? Yeah. That's you becoming a teeny tiny bit of a kid again because you're happy about something. Now, I know that sounds asinine. That makes it sound like us adults can't be happy about things, which is obviously stupid. Adults can be happy just as easily as any child can. But it's really stupid. God, this is so stupid. I don't even know how to explain this anymore. And again, I probably worded it better in my original recording, so now I'm pissed off at myself for letting this happen. This shows you how stupid it is. I can't restate it because it's too stupid to think about what I said before. This isn't making any sense, Matt. Figure it out.
I put out a video about this and they were just furious. A lot of you guys are absolutely addicted to video games. Addicted. And I don't mean just getting on a console and playing with a little controller. I'm talking about to the point where you put posters up on your wall of Final Fantasy, of Super Mario Brothers, of Super Mario Kart. I've literally seen adult men doing this. If you're defining yourself by, your posters, Final Fantasy, this one guy who responded to me had the goal to say, Matt, this is nothing more than an ad hominem attack against our community, while he's got My Little Pony in the background. This guy is 40 years old, and he has a poster of My Little Pony in the background. He reviewed My Little Pony on his channel and was talking about how much he loved it. Folks, my video on that was not meant to be some ad hominem attack. It was nothing more than an admonition to you, those of you in this atheist, non-believing community, to simply get a life. I feel like I could talk more about this guy. This guy had the goal to put out videos against us, while simultaneously, and even before that, promoting My Little Pony. My wife and I were sitting there laughing our heads off on this trip that I was on at this guy. And she said, well, maybe he's trolling, Matt. Maybe he just put My Little Pony in the background of this video just to kind of troll you. So we go back in his timeline a year. He's got My Little Pony all the way back then.
Let me ask you a question. What does that one guy really represent? What does that one person really mean? You know what he is? He's one person. He's one human. One filthy little monkey amongst a group of millions of monkeys. Millions of people. Do you know what else he is? He's just one member of a group. You know what you are, Mr. Powell? One member of a group of presumably millions. But, how do I say this? Again, I'm already pissed because I've, basically recorded all the way up to here and to the end of the video, and I've having to restate it all, so I'm lost in thought now. But this man that you're talking about, that told you to knock it off with degrading us bronies, which, fun fact, that's what they're called. Not as your video that this entire other 2-minute clip I just played is. We're not called My Little Pony fan mans and women's. No. We're called bronies. We're called Pegasisters. I'm no longer part of the group, so I don't know how to, I don't know how to tie myself to the group per se. But I myself don't really care for My Little Pony like I used to. But that's just it. The guy you were talking about in that clip is one person. He does not represent the whole of the fandom. You know what else is important to remember, Matt? What do? You talk about how great God is. You talk about how amazing and wonderful and special Hail Almighty Lord Jesus Christos is. Talk about how great he is all the damn time. So how is that different? How is that not as bad as a YouTuber who talks about nothing but My Little Pony doing what they do, talking about how great My Little Pony is? What you're basically saying is this person is not allowed to talk about how great My Little Pony is because they're not talking about how great God is. It's not how it works, Matt. You're not allowed to talk about how great God is, but then turn around and tell another YouTuber who talks about something else to not talk about how great that is the thing that they're talking about. You're not allowed to do that. Now, I don't know if I've made it clear yet, but for those of you who haven't watched any of my videos before and this is the first time you're seeing my content, I used to be a brony. I used to be a member of that fandom, of that group. I liked the show myself, okay? When I was about 14 or 15 years old, I had a girlfriend in high school. I was off and on boyfriend-girlfriend with her for about 2 or 3 years, roughly 9th grade to 11th grade, before I had to move due to family issues, which will be explained what I'm talking about as I go through this. But like I said, I had to move because of family issues. Not telling you where I moved to, because that's not important. You know what the family issue was? Thanks to my girlfriend, who was the very one that low-key, that without realizing it, basically inspired me to start liking My Little Pony. Because I got bored one day and got curious. What's the deal? Why does she like it? It's a silly show. I felt the same way. I got bored and I started researching it all. Over time, I decided, yeah, I liked it. And you know what it became? Liking My Little Pony became a coping mechanism for me. Because you know what was happening at the time for me? My parents were going through a divorce, and I was dealing with a lot of mental and emotional stress from it. The ponies were a coping mechanism. How many other people on Earth can say the same thing? I can't say. I'm sure there are plenty of people who have had similar issues, who have fallen back on maybe not My Little Pony, but other things that you think are childish as coping mechanisms, because it helps them get through a rough time in life. I'm sure that when you're dealing with something rough in life, you'll fall back on and rely on your belief in the Almighty Lord Himself, God, to feel good about yourself. You rely on Him for guidance, to not feel alone, like someone cares, right? Is that safe for me to assume? You use your religion to cope with your troubles in life. So what is the difference with someone like me doing that, finding something to cope with? Is it because you think it's childish and silly what I'm using to cope with? Is it because you don't like it that there's a problem with us using whatever as a coping mechanism? Do you even know what a coping mechanism is? I admit, I agree that an adult or teenager liking My Little Pony is silly. I agree wholeheartedly with it. I recognize how silly it looks. But you know what? Unlike you, I'm not going to care about that. I don't care how silly it is. Because, you know why? Everyone is silly. Everyone's childish. When I started liking My Little Pony, when I started researching it and getting involved in that, the very little that I did, liking the fan songs, liking the stories and the everything, you know what my dad thought? And this is part of the reason why I get pissed that anyone tries to use this kind of argument in general. The insert, they like this thing here that I don't like, therefore am stupid argument. You know why that argument pisses me off? Because we get people like you We get people like my dad who say shit that doesn't work, that doesn't make sense, that is completely unjustified and fair to believe. When my dad started to figure out that I liked these things, you know what happened? He assumed that, and this one I don't blame him for. I completely understand where the thought would come from. My dad thought I was maybe turning gay. Of course I'm not, but I can understand why a father or mother who doesn't understand what the deal is, I can understand why they would see that at a glance and think, is my child turning gay? And therefore, as a Christian parent, I could understand why they would be worried. Because, Christians typically don't want to support gays. But see, that wasn't the only thing that agitated me so much about it. The main thing that agitated me the first time around when I got made fun of for it by my dad was that my dad also made the assumption that I might have been becoming a pedophile. Those weirdos on the internet and in the world that want to touch your kids in naughty ways? Yeah. I got assumed I was turning into one, simply because I liked a kid's show. You know how awful that is to hear your own parents say something like that, Mr. Powell? Mr. Matty boy. Do you know how awful it is to have your own parent make such a drastic assumption about you just because they fail to understand something about the situation, because they're not asking questions? It doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel very good to have your parent assume you're basically becoming a criminal because of something literally what you call as childish, for example. It doesn't feel very good to hear that kind of thing from your parent. Let's put the shoe on the other foot for a moment. You probably wouldn't want your parent. Let's just say you were living in an atheist household, and if you were, okay, not the point. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, you were, and you were becoming a Christian. You probably, if your parents started thinking something was wrong with you to a point of saying stuff like, oh, you're becoming insert X, and it was something so drastic that you knew it didn't make sense and had to be based on nothing more than your parents didn't like Christians or something, you probably would be absolutely appalled with what they're saying, disgusted with how they're treating you simply because of that. That's exactly how I felt. Is that fair for me to therefore have to let my parents call me a pedo to try to hurt me emotionally or mentally because of something as stupid as that? Or should I do something about it? It got even worse as I went on, because at my 17th birthday, I literally got made fun of for it on a day that was supposed to be just being happy for me, because my birthday, it was supposed to be a good day. And I got ridiculed again for liking these damn ponies. Which in of itself is fine. I get it. It's weird. It's not normal. But what parent on all days, their kid's birthday, does that to them? What parent does that? What parent assumes their kid is becoming a pedophile, or asks them about something so sensitive a topic without asking fair questions in a respectful way on their birthday of all days? What parent threatens to ground their kid from their coping mechanism? Oh, right. I need to re-explain that because my audio didn't record originally. I got grounded in high school from my video games and TV and stuff for my poor grades. Fine, that's fair. I get it. Ground the kid from what they like. But, you know what is one thing that doesn't make sense? Is grounding your... I got grounded from my damn stuffed animals. As well. Like, my dad took the things, stuck them in a trash bag, and stuck them in his damn closet. You know what I think the real reason was? Less because he was grounding me from them, and more because he wanted the excuse of grounding me from them because of poor grades to take something away that he knew was a coping mechanism. He knew I liked and was completely innocent. My dad threatened to burn my damn stuffed animals because I wanted to bring them on a family vacation. How would you feel if your parents threatened to burn your Bible or something and you were living in an atheist household? You probably wouldn't feel very good about it, would you? I know I wouldn't if I were you in that instance. I would be mad at my parents in that hypothetical instance. So why is it okay for you to basically tell us off just because you think it's silly? I ended up suing my dad and got ripped off by the law over these fucking stuffed animals. So you, Matt Powell, don't ever judge someone for something like having a simple like or dislike and act like that is such a problem. To hell with you about that.